I have been concealing the true shape of my body with a corset due to my polycystic ovary syndrome, but after my boyfriend discovered I am heavier than he assumed, he now demands I keep it on during intimacy. This is despite the physical pain and breathing difficulties it causes me because he states he is not attracted to me without it. I'm an 18-year-old woman, and I have been dating my 25-year-old boyfriend for approximately 9 months. We were introduced through mutual friends and connected instantly. To me, he seemed perfect, chivalrous, caring, honest, attentive, and more. Before I met him, however, I struggled significantly with my weight. Due to my PCOS, I had gained a considerable amount. I was 53 and 154 pounds, and I had reached 176 pounds. I became deeply insecure about this. I did disclose to him that I was essentially infertile in case that mattered to anyone. He said he was okay with it. To manage my appearance, I began wearing a corset, sometimes over my clothes, sometimes beneath them. It didn't seem to matter. Initially, it was very difficult to breathe and extremely painful to wear. Over time, though, my body acclimated. I still avoid any strenuous activity or exercise while wearing it, as the discomfort returns immediately. Anyway, the corset made me feel much better about myself. When I met my boyfriend and on every single date thereafter, I wore it. He never appeared to notice or even care, so I assumed everything was fine. I never explicitly mentioned it because, frankly, why would I? Then about 3 months ago, we became physically intimate for the first time. When I took the corset off, he stopped and stared at me as if I had grown a second head. When I tried to continue, he gently pushed me away and said he wasn't in the mood anymore. I went home shortly after. We didn't communicate for a few days, but then he asked to meet up. When I arrived, he told me he had to stop that night because he wasn't used to seeing me that way. I asked what he meant. He said, "I thought you were a little skinnier." I was certain he was about to break up with me, so I blurted out that I would do whatever it took to lose the weight. He responded that it wasn't possible, so I should just keep the corset on if we were ever intimate again. I agreed. This brings me to the core issue. About 2 weeks ago, we were being intimate and had to stop because I couldn't catch my breath. He asked why I couldn't keep up, and I explained it was hard work with the corset on. I offered to take it off. He said, "Don't, or we won't continue." So I kept it on, but by that point I was extremely sweaty. I'm sure I smelled. Honestly, my body has been in significant pain since we started this dynamic. I try to subtly bring it up each time or send him signals, but he seems completely oblivious. When I tell him I'm not in the mood, he counters that I'm never in the mood. If I don't moan enough, whatever that means, he says I'm not enjoying it enough. I am unsure what else to do. I derive more pleasure from pleasuring myself. Honestly, I do not want to break up with him over this. I truly love him and believe he is my person. Outside of the bedroom, he is amazing. I don't want to give that up over something as seemingly material as sex. So please, Reddit, what should I do? Top relevant comments. Commenter 1, you should not have to wear a corset to be intimate. That is really horrible for you, both physically and for your confidence, because he is clearly stating he doesn't find you attractive without it. That is just awful. I think you should seriously consider finding someone who loves you, warts and all, as they say. Ops downvoted response, I never thought about it that way. His argument was that it made me feel pretty anyway, so why not just wear it all the time? Commenter 2, he is plainly saying he does not find you desirable without the corset. No one who is genuinely into you would stop having sex just because you removed a piece of shapewear. Ops downvoted response, I didn't think about it that way. He told me to keep it on due to his preferences. He says he does his part to make me happy during intimacy, so I should keep it on for him, but I also think he shouldn't demand we stop entirely just because it's off. Commenter 3, I stopped reading after I saw the ages. What is actually going on? Do I even want to know how old you were when he first became interested? Jesus. Look, you're young, just break up with him. This guy is basically telling you to your face he wouldn't love you at your lowest through sickness and health. He likes the idea of you as a pretty young girl he can toy with, and only he is allowed to have problems with the arrangement. Either talk to him and act accordingly, but either way you will break up eventually. You're his fling. The age gap is too crazy in the first place. Ops downvoted response, it's not like that. I was introduced to him by my friend's sister. They both attended our university. He was apparently helping during Freshers Week. I just missed him, but yeah, we didn't know each other before I was 18. Thank you for worrying though. Commenter 4, not going to lie, sweetheart. You're still fresh out of high school and he's a grown adult man. He knows better. Most of us wouldn't dare look at a woman a year younger, and I'm exaggerating. You have 7 years between you. He was 20 while you were in middle school. On top of that, this man is basically disgusted by you, and you're acting desperate, saying you'll do anything to lose weight. Please leave him in the dust so he can find someone his own age whom he actually finds attractive. You shouldn't waste your time with a man who will likely end up cheating on you or mentally abusing you. I've seen this story play out too many times. So yes, it's deeper than him just refusing to have sex with you. The person meant for you is going to tear the corset off you. Good luck, though. Op's response: I laughed at this one. I can say for sure he doesn't do all that, but I think you're right. Op adds an edit to her post. When he said it was impossible for me to lose the weight after I promised I would, he meant because of the PCOS. I had shared in the past that I'd tried to lose weight and saw no progress. Op adds a second edit to her post. It has only been an hour, but after reading all your comments I realize I may be way younger than I think I am. I've decided I will speak to him this weekend. I won't wear the corset and I will tell him I am not going to anymore. I'll see what happens. Honestly, I am extremely terrified he'll leave me. You have all expressed that would be the right thing, but I truly thought he was the one. I'm scared I may not find the dream man many of you speak of in the comments. I don't think he's the type to insult or verbally abuse me. We'll see this weekend. Thank you all for your kind words and for enlightening me about his age. I've seen horror stories about age gaps, but I thought it was more acceptable since I only knew him after I turned 18. I'll take this into consideration moving forward. Thank you. Op adds a third edit to her post. I've scheduled the conversation with him for this Saturday, so most likely no future updates until then. I won't be breaking up with him until we firmly talk about it. This may be irrational, even plain stupid, but I still love him and don't have the heart to do it. Anyway, I wanted to address a lot of the main questions I'm seeing. 1. I met him during Freshers Week before university actually started, but I was freshly 18 at the time. We didn't officially meet until 2 weeks after the event. I now understand the age gap is questionable, but I want to see my parents' reaction to it first. 2. I also didn't lie to him about not wearing a corset. During our first time sleeping together, we'd already been dating for 6 months and I had never not worn a corset on dates. He never acknowledged it, even when I wore it over my clothes, and I felt I didn't need to explain because why would I? 3. Thank you to everyone who gave me information on my PCOS. You've made me hopeful I can still become a mom when the time comes. My boyfriend doesn't want kids, so we'll see what happens. 4. For those asking me to get therapy, I'm really considering it. I'm currently not in a financial situation to afford any therapy, especially not on my paycheck. My boyfriend has explicitly told me he won't pay for anything like that, so it was out of the question until now. 5. Finally, for those asking me to try losing weight again, I have. It's not much, but I've applied for a membership at my local gym, so we'll see how that works. I haven't told my boyfriend yet, but he might be happy. It may make the confrontation less harsh for both of us. Again, thank you all for your kind words. I've never received this much support from so many people before. I can't respond to everyone, but I'm upvoting where I can. I'm totally grateful. Op adds a fourth edit to her post. No, we do not use protection or plan B. He is usually spontaneous, and though we're usually at his house, he doesn't want to use anything. He says nothing will happen, and I suspect it's due to the PCOS, but I'm planning to speak to him about me getting on birth control. Update 5 days later. We went out for dinner today at 6. I did not wear a corset. He noticed almost immediately. He asked me why in casual conversation, and I said I just didn't feel like wearing it. He replied, well, that's a shame. Conversation was quite slow after that. Our dinner ended early, about 2 hours later, and I asked if he could drive me home. I asked if he wanted to take a detour while driving, and he said he had things to do. So I blatantly asked him if he would break up with me because I wouldn't wear a corset. I like to think I sounded confident, but I wasn't, and I'm sure he heard the tremor in my voice. He said it wasn't like that, but he had already told me he wouldn't have sex with me unless I wore one. I told him, then we're never having sex again. He just stared at me like I was crazy. I told him I wasn't wearing corsets anymore, and then he got really upset. He said I was acting immature and that we'd already had this conversation. So I told him I was tired of him not considering my needs. I told him I didn't want to wear a corset anymore. I told him I was tired of the way he talked to me when I didn't comply. I told him I wanted to go on birth control, and I told him that I wanted to have kids one day. We didn't talk for the rest of the ride. He dropped me off at home and said he thought we should take a break. I said, fine by me, and shrugged. Then he accused me of cheating because I was acting so dismissive. I told him straight out that if he couldn't love me the way I am, then maybe we should have more than just a break. He didn't say anything after that and left. He hasn't texted me since. This happened almost 2 hours ago, and I've just been crying the whole time. I'm waiting for him to text me and say we're over. I'm contemplating texting him first, but I'm scared. I've never talked back to him like that before. We've never really had any arguments. I'll update if he texts again tonight, but I just wanted to let you all know. All your lovely messages did a lot for me this past week. I've just been smiling at everyone's kind words. I've never felt so seen through a tiny screen before. Thank you all for your love and support. Top relevant comments on update. Commenter, if he requires you to modify your body, you need to dump him. This post is crazy. Why would he force that and make you cry? It's terrible. Ops response, it made me really upset when he started shouting at me, calling me immature because I didn't want to wear a corset. He didn't act like this a few months ago. He never raised his voice. Commenter 2, he's gaslighting you. He's the immature one. I know of many fetishes, including having a woman wear a corset but refusing to have sex if she doesn't wear one is about control. Unless a guy is ill, how often do you hear of a guy turning down sex? Getting rid of Mr. Control Freak is the right thing to do. Op adds an edit to her post. I ended up falling asleep yesterday while waiting and thinking, but he actually texted me at 2:00 a.m. today saying he was going to come over later. I haven't responded, but I assume he'll be here at 2 or 3, which is when I'm back from volunteering, so we'll talk today. He said he discovered something, which is really worrying me. He would be furious if he ever saw these posts because he recently got angry when he found out I'd been telling my friends about our relationship struggles. He didn't talk to me for a week. He said I was airing out dirty laundry, which I understand. But all I told my friends was that he wasn't listening to me. I dread to think what might happen, but hopefully it's nothing important. I'll create another post if what happens is too long for one update, but thank you all for staying updated. Your kind words helped me through the night. I was just reading them before I fell asleep. You all truly don't know what your words mean, but they're getting me through this. Second update 2 days later. Hi, this is probably the final update to this really sad situation. I'm sorry for posting so late. This happened several hours ago. I just couldn't bring myself to write about it immediately. But I thought that for all the kindness, compassion, and support I received over the last few days, the least I can do is tell you what happened. He showed up at my place around 4 or 5 later than I expected. I wasn't wearing my corset after volunteering. When he came over, he said I looked nice, that he was sorry, and that he was ready to listen. So I sat him down and told him everything I wanted to say. It was everything I had said before, just more collected and with a better explanation. When I finished, he asked why I was saying all this now when I hadn't originally. I said, it's because I received advice from friends. He then proceeded to pull out a printout of the Reddit post and asked if this was the advice I was talking about. I told him, they were better friends to me than you've ever been. He raised his hand at me but didn't touch me. At that point, I was terrified. My roommate wasn't home and I had no protection if he tried to hit me. He became quiet for a while, then he just started shouting, actually screaming and getting in my face. I didn't know what to do, so I pushed him and told him to grow up. He was ranting about how I was airing our dirty laundry on Reddit, how his friends had seen it, and how people were gaslighting me. He asked if I had only made this attention-seeking post to get compliments about how I look with or without a corset. I told him to leave because I was already in tears after he started calling me fat, ugly, and claiming nobody would ever love me the way he did. I'm embarrassed to admit I almost believed him. He looked so pitiful. The next thing I knew, he was trying to come on to me. I said now was clearly not the time. He kept talking about how pretty I looked without the corset, how he needed me to survive and he wouldn't get off of me. So in the spur of the moment, I punched him. He let me go. I broke up with him on the spot and refused to elaborate because I had already explained and he wouldn't listen. He left after I threatened to call the authorities. I have blocked him everywhere. I haven't told anyone about this in real life. I haven't left my room. I didn't go to class today at all. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I genuinely feel like I've lost a part of myself because I truly loved him. But I won't give him the satisfaction of dwelling on that in this post. The man I felt that for is gone. You are not the same man I fell in love with. I'm sad it took almost 160,000 people seeing my posts for me to understand that. But now that they have, I couldn't be more grateful. I've received so much support and learned so much from this experience in the last few days than I did in our entire relationship. So if you're seeing this, F you. Top relevant comments on final update. Commenter, tell your friends and family ASAP. Contact the police and file a complaint so if he harasses you again, they will already have a record of him. Ops response, thank you, I will tell them in the coming days. Commenter 2, just FYI, a lot of domestic violence happens after the woman leaves. Please take everyone's advice seriously. Make a report today and let someone know. See if you can stay with a friend for a few nights or have someone stay with you. Put an alarm on your door so you'll know if someone opens it while you're asleep and maybe even set up motion-activated recording on your laptop. Just be safe. Ops response, I never considered this, but after the way he behaved, I think I will. I've just told my best friend so I'll see if I can stay with her. The nearest police station is a while away, but I'll find time to report it. Maybe I'll ask my landlord if I can change the locks. He has a spare key. I don't have money for alarm systems, but I'll ask my neighbors to look out for me and tell my landlord the situation. Thank you so much for caring.